Hey guys, this is Dr. Haywood. I'm here at the Bean Museum, which is located at Brigham Young University down in Utah. And it's a really cool museum here. It has tons of wildlife exhibits from all over the state, or all over the world. The coolest thing is this huge elephant they brought over from Africa. So I'm going to take you through the museum and show you some cool sights here. Down at the Bean Museum in Utah. Thanks. So guys, they have animals from all over the world. They've mounted them and stuffed them. If they passed away of natural causes, they brought them here to the museum, and they have tons of exhibits. So here's a rhinoceros, and so these are actual real life, how big the animal would be in real life. And here is a giraffe. So if you walked up in Africa and stood next to a giraffe, this is how tall it would be. Compared to the rhinoceros. I always thought they were really tall, but until I stood next to one in the Bean Museum. This is where I came to school to get my teaching degree in history and English a long time ago. And they had this museum, and I remember walking in and thinking, whoa, this giraffe is huge. I mean, I didn't realize they were that tall, just reaching all the way up like that. Here's a hippo. Hippos are cool because they're land animals and they can swim. They can stay underwater for a long period of time, but they'll tend to fight and with each other and get all scarred up with their thick skin. This is what their mouth looks like. They have these kind of grotesque long tusks of teeth in their mouths. And they have some molars there in the back, and they have these long tusks in the front that they use to rip up vegetation out of the bottom of ponds and rivers or along the shoreline and to eat with. Some of the African plains animals. Some of them are pretty big. Like this one, this is about the size of an elk, like we'd see in our mountains. This is a giant or Lord Derby eland from North Africa. Another really tall giraffe. There's a tiny little fallow deer from Europe standing next to the rhino and the two giraffe. If you've ever seen the movie Napoleon Dynamite, an older movie that's kind of funny but a little bit weird, he talks about a liger in there, and they actually have ligers. If you didn't have time to read that, just go back, press pause, and you can read it, and then press play again. Here's a Bengal tiger from India. If you've ever seen the movie Mowgli, There's a couple of big elephant tusks that were donated to the museum. These elephant tusks are ivory, and elephants are poached every year because people want the ivory for different things because it's worth a lot of money. They have this pretty amazing bird exhibit with birds from all over the world. So I'll take you through some of these. There's so many, I don't know how many I'll be able to show you. Here's sandhill crane. You know these from Wyoming. These are all over the state, different places. This is the bird, the sandhill crane. Well, that's a blue crane, but this sandhill crane right here. I like to hunt, and so this year my daughter and son got permits to hunt sandhill crane, and when we harvested 2 of them, we took the meat off the front of the bird, and it looked like 2 big beef steaks, and it tasted just like beef. It was really weird. I mean, if I had given it to any of you, you would have said, "Oh, this is a beef steak from a cow, not from a bird." It was really weird. They call them the ribeye of the sky. Here's a flamingo, a spoonbill. This is a lesser flamingo, really pretty. See there, once you get close, a flamingo isn't all that pretty. But from a distance, they're a really beautiful bird, all the colors and the feathers. These are from the South Pacific, it looks like, or Indonesia. Some of these fowl, jungle fowl. They kind of look like chickens or roosters you might see in your barnyard, but gray jungle fowl from India, Sri Lanka, jungle fowl. Here's a cool one. This is a gray-crowned crane from Africa. Look at the feathers on this. Now look at its head. It's pretty awesome. A really pretty bird. Heron from Vietnam. So we have swans on the western side of Wyoming. They come out of Yellowstone and come down all the way through Star Valley. We see these all the time. They're really big birds. Some South American waterfowl. Here's some that we see in North America, Australia, the teal.
Is there a peacock on that page? Yeah, there is. We got a bunch of birds in here.
I harvested a wood duck. I like to duck hunt, and I harvested a wood duck this year. Just a couple months ago, and you don't see them very often in western Wyoming, at least where I live, and so I took it to the taxidermist, and he's going to do something like this so I can set it in my office. So kind of cool. These are ducks that are that we commonly might see in Wyoming. Some mallards and the gadwall. There's kind of a cool looking duck over here. Look at these two mergansers. Look at these guys. The hooded merganser. It's kind of a crazy looking bird. There's a really pretty one back in there. Some more pretty ones. It's kind of loud in here. There's a student group in here, but here's one of the coolest things, this elephant, and this is life size, so this is how big they actually are. You can see those giant tusks sticking out. And their mouth is up in here, although they can drink through their keep wanting to say tusk. Can't think of the name now. How big their ears are. You can see how thick the hide is. It's really, really thick and tough. How big their feet are. You can see their feet. They have those huge toenails, I guess you could say. Alright, let's go find some other cool stuff somewhere around here. See what else they have. It's kind of a cool exhibit. They have this hyena here. It's got a hold of some kind of monkey. Look at those teeth on that monkey. There's one up in the tree. Pretty cool how they made it like that to make it look a little more realistic, how they might be hunted. There's another cool one. They've got this lion trying to take down this plains animal. You can see the scar on the hide from that lion from when it was alive. It had a lot of fights probably with other lions and animals. You can see all the scars on its back. It's pretty cool.
Let's go
zebra. Pretty cool animal. Zebras are actually kind of small. All those that I've seen, stuff like this, are in a zoo. They're a lot smaller than you think it would be, like a really small horse. Some jackals, or hyenas, I think they sometimes call them. Another lion. Here's a cool one, a leopard up in the tree with its animal. They'll pull them up in the tree so they can eat them without being bothered by other animals that can't climb up there. There's a hippo down in the water. Crocodile. It's kind of an interesting fact. Leopard. All right. Up here will be some animals we know in Wyoming. So here's a big elk. Big bull elk. It's a pretty big animal. I hunt elk, and this year I got my elk on Labor Day in September. Up in the mountains, way up in the mountains, about 3-mile hike up from the forest road we were on. It wasn't the antlers weren't as big as these, but it was still a big animal, and we had to take part of it out on our backs that day, and then the next day a friend went up and carried the rest out on his horse. Here's some wolves. In western and northern Wyoming, we're seeing a lot of wolves again since they brought them back. Here's some mule deer. Normally it's really quiet in here, but with this big group of kids in here today, it's pretty loud. Here's white-tailed deer, which you guys have these on the eastern side of the state, and we have some in different parts of the state too. This is different than the mule deer, the animal's body and antler type. We have some of these coming into our valley from Idaho, so we're starting to see more and more white-tailed deer. There's some cool exhibits in here. These zebras being chased by a lion. And here's a pride of lions, a group of them. There's a little, see if I can get the glare off of this so you can read it. So there's a young lion here and the older male back there and the females here. This is a pretty cool taxidermist work. He took a Cape buffalo with a lion on the back of it. It's pretty awesome. You can see it biting into the skin there, and you see its claws into the skin. So you got lion up on top there. It's pretty awesome. Get a better
shot of it bite though.
Okay, I need to hurry. I'm running out of time. Okay guys, I'm up here on the second level and those giraffe are just as high as I am. Their heads are. That's how tall they are. So, thanks for coming to the Bean Museum with me. It's a pretty cool place to visit. A lot of universities have museums like this, so if you're ever near a big university, like in the University of Wyoming or something, I'm sure they have museums like this. So, hope you enjoyed the field trip. Thanks for coming. See you guys.